In this session we're going to take a look at intervals. So we're going to start off by explaining first of all what we mean by intervals. If we look at the first two notes on the top stave, you can see we've got the note G and the note D, and the gap between those two notes is what is known as an interval. Now in grade 2 you're going to need to be able to count the numbered interval between two notes, and the way we do this is you look at the bottom note, count that as 1, the space would be 2, the line would be 3, the next space would be 4, and the top line would be 5. So that interval is an interval of a fifth. If we look at the second example, this is also an interval of a fifth. We count the bottom note as 1, the space would be 2, the line would be 3, space would be 4, and the note on that line is a fifth. Notice though that the top example, the top note is directly above the bottom note, and when you have two notes in those positions we call that a harmonic interval. Now with the second example, the top note is to the right of the bottom note. It could actually be to the left, but it's not directly above that note. And when notes are positioned like that we call them melodic intervals. Let's have a look at another example. On this stave we've got notes of C with the notes above them going from a second, a third, fourth, fifth and sixth and carrying on. Let's have a look at that. Let's just count the numbered interval between all of these notes and make sure that these seconds, thirds, fourths are correct. We count the bottom note as 1 and the next note would be 2. Now these are all harmonic intervals, but notice that the top note, which is a D here, is slightly to the right of the C, and in this case that is perfectly okay because we mustn't have the notes overlapping. So with a second the note needs to be pushed slightly to the side there. On the next example we've got C to E. We just count the bottom note as 1, the space would be 2 and the notes on the line, so there's an interval of a third, so that's a harmonic third. We'll look at a couple more. This one is a fourth. Count the bottom note as 1, the space would be 2, the line would be 3 and that space is 4, so that's a harmonic fourth. We can go all the way up to a harmonic eighth, but when you've got an eighth that's actually known as an octave, but we can call it an interval of an eighth or an interval of an octave. We just count the bottom note as 1, space would be 2, line would be 3, space would be 4, line would be 5, that space is 6, line 7, and you can see that the note is an eighth, so that's a harmonic eighth. Let's look at a couple more examples. We've got the note G and B, and that is a harmonic interval of a third. We count the bottom note as 1, space would be 2, the line would be 3, so that's a harmonic third. On the second example we've got G to E, and the numbered interval there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that would be a harmonic sixth. Got a couple more examples here. We've got an interval of a second, and this is a harmonic second. Count the bottom note as 1, the note in the space would be 2. The next example, again this is a harmonic interval, but you can see we've got G going to G, which is an octave or an interval of an eighth. In these two examples, these are known as melodic intervals, but we still count them in the same way. The bottom note is 1, the space would be 2, the line would be 3, the space would be 4, so that's a melodic fourth. And the next one, if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that will be a melodic fifth. Another two examples, I'll just give you a couple of seconds, see if you can work these out for yourself. If we look at the top one, so G to an F happens to be F sharp, but we're only dealing with numbered intervals here, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an interval of a melodic seventh. And the second example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will be an interval of a melodic sixth. So as you can see, counting the numbered intervals is quite straightforward, and in the grade 2 exam you will be asked to work out numbered intervals between two different notes. So that brings me to the end of this session, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Bye for now.